Hey, everybody. Dave Lamont here, your Almost Daily Dave, September 2nd edition. And I'm continuing my conversation about great college football stadiums I've had the pleasure of broadcasting to. And I immediately sat down and I had my list of five, and I kind of went 5.5 to 6 yesterday, and I'm going to do it again today because every time I sit down to think about this, there's another one that pops into my head. So I don't want to forget about it. I've got two pretty funny stories, I think. Well, one of them is funny. One of them is kind of odd that I want to get to. So let me lead you with sort of 5A and number 5, like an entry in horse racing. The 5A would be Texas A&M, Kyle Field. I've only been there once for football, and I was a sideline reporter, so it's been a long, long time since I did that. And two things I remember first off, the crowd atmosphere, it's exactly like you hear it is, with the swaying back and forth, everybody linking arms together. I stood on the sidelines and looked up, and you almost felt dizzy when you saw that. And if you haven't seen that before, I'm sure there's footage of it on YouTube. It's absolutely fantastic, really something to see. Now, what's the funny story about this is I had to tape a pregame hit, and I didn't have a lot of time to do it, so I really had to get it right. And it was going to go back to this time. This game was on ABC. It was going to go back to the network. They were going to run it. So on this particular day, I think it was Military Appreciation Day. Texas A&M has a strong military feel to it. So they were honoring former President George H.W. Bush and his wife Barbara, and they were going to be brought along there was a track, and they were going to be brought out there and wave to the crowd, and had a horse-drawn carriage to take them to do that. So my producer said, hey, Dave, do me a favor, move over here. We're going to try to time this so the president is going behind you when you're speaking. Hey, no problem. So I get into position, and I do my report. And I obviously could not see what was going on behind me. I couldn't see the president. I heard people applauding and all that, and I knew it wasn't for me. So I did the report. I was happy with the report, and I said, well, how was that? And the producer got back to me on TalkBack and said, we're going to have to do it again. Really? What happened? Well, the horse took a crap when you were on the air, and we saw it. Duh. So it wasn't live. There's no footage of this, sorry. I had to wait, do it again, and I nailed it again. Hey, get lucky every once in a while. Now, the other interesting story happened at my number 5 spot, Wisconsin. Madison, Wisconsin is one of the all-time college towns. There is no argument with that. And the little area around the stadium, there's a great diner, the name of which I'm blanking out on. I assume it's still there. Again, it's been a little while since I've been to Madison. This particular trip, I was working for ESPN's 3D channel. Did you watch it? Don't lie, you didn't. And not very many people did. This is about 2009, 2010. Now, it was great for me, and we had no pressure on us because we were making things up as we went along. And we got to go to some big-time games. We got to go to some great venues, had a blast, had an absolute blast. But unfortunately, it just wasn't cost-effective, and they pulled the plug right before a Purdue-Notre Dame game. We were in Purdue, not Notre Dame. By the way, that's why Notre Dame is not going to appear on my top 10 venues list. I've never been there for football. Basketball, yes. Football, no. So I can't do that. It wouldn't be honest. So we do Wisconsin, Ohio State. Ohio State's number 1. Did I mention the week before Ohio State had hosted Indiana 3D, and we were at the Horseshoe. So now, a week later, we're in Madison. And because we were a late ad, Madison, of course, packed with fans. We had to stay at a motel about 45 minutes away in a small town, I think it was called Watertown, Wisconsin. We get to our hotel, or a motel, really, and we want to have a meeting the day of the game. It's a night game. The morning of the game, you have a production meeting if you have a night game. And we couldn't use the one meeting room they had there because there was a scrapbooking convention going on, and they completely had that room filled. So we get to Madison, and there is a compound for the television folks. So we have all of our trucks. Now there's trucks all over the place. And you park your car there and you go into the stadium. So on this particular night, it is also the ABC big Saturday night primetime Dealio game. Or ESPN, doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter. It's Musburger, Brent Musburger, whom I adore, and Kirk Herbstreit. They're doing the game. What happens? Wisconsin pulls off the upset. They beat the number one team in the country in Ohio State. Number one. Big darn deal. Place is going crazy. And it was going to go crazy anyway. It's a wonderful place to see a game. So our producer decides that instead of our usual drill of taking the headsets off and getting the hell out of there as fast as possible, that we're going to stay on the air and document the environment in Madison. There was a problem with that. And the problem was that they were getting a little goofy. Normally there's a band concert, and they have an incredible marching band at Wisconsin, and they canceled the performance. No. We had 2 cameras, $50,000 per camera, attached to goalposts, 3D cameras. Somebody got on those goalposts and wrecked the camera while they were trying to wreck the goalpost. And then you realize you've been on the air for 20, 25 minutes extra, and now getting out and making that drive is going to take a lot longer than 45 minutes. We can't get out. Musburger and Herbie, gone. Dave Lamont, Tim Brown, Ray Bentley, not gone. So we are sitting around scratching ourselves because we don't know what to do. And it's going to be a long night. Suddenly, we had a brilliant production assistant. He goes, "Who's driving?" "I am." "Of course I am." "Get in your car." "Get in my car?" "Okay, I'll get in the car. Come on, guys, let's go. And I had our statistician with us and spotter. And we're like, okay, let's go. We got to go. So off we go. And I'm thinking, I don't know how we're going to do this. All right, so there's an electric gate where it starts to open. And as it starts to open, here come 2 mounted police officers. Remember, it was a man and a woman on horseback. I'll tell you this right now. If we had opened that gate and I had started to drive my car out there, nobody would have moved. When the mounted police arrived, people moved. And got us to where we could get onto the road by the stadium. Now, that still took some time to get out of there and to get back to our hotel. And of course, the funny part is, because there were no hotel rooms in Madison available, 3 hours sleep later, I'm turning around and making the same trip back into town to fly out. But it was a memorable, and there's another story there, but you guys haven't bought me any drinks lately, so I'm going to let that one go. You know what? I have gone long. And I can also tell you that I think we just had the hurricane, October. We had Hurricane Wilma, 2005, 2006, right? That awful hurricane that just kicked Broward County's butt. You know where I was the day before? Madison. Flew in that Sunday morning. Beautiful, beautiful day. Sunday night late, Monday morning, whammo. So weird things happen when I go to Madison. So here's what's going to happen. The Almost Daily Dave will take this into a third part, and I'll give you my top 3 because I've taken up a lot of time on 4 and 5 with a couple of stories. All right? Deal? Great. I will talk to you then on Thursday with the final 3 for the Almost Daily Dave. By the way, this look here and the look for the nooner and all these overlays, I want to thank my friends at the Sports Objective podcast in Greenville, North Carolina for all their help. And thank you for watching. I'll finish this, I promise, come Thursday.